Hi everybody. Today I'm gonna show you the way how to change the oil on your boat, and it's pretty much a straightforward way, easy way, and it doesn't require any expertise. So it's a basically process you can do yourself. You don't need to pay anybody else to do it, and it's quite easy. So this is my motor, this is my engine. It's a Yanmar GM, 6 horsepower, which is powering this boat. And I actually highly suspect there's a very low amount of the oil in my engine, and I will definitely check that out now. So also I think the oil is quite dirty. So you'll see now the basically how to check that, and once you confirm it, you'll be able to check it yourself and change it yourself. So the things, the props you need for this particular task is you need a couple of sheets to check the oil. You need a white surface to see how oily or dirty it is. Then you're gonna need of course the oil. For this particular case I use original Yanmar's 10W30 oil, which there are two of them. There's a 10W30 and there's a 15W30. The 15 is a little bit better for the higher temperatures. The 10 one is better for the lower temperatures. So I'm using actually the same oil that the original owner used before. And also you will need something called the oil extractor. It's basically the pump, the vacuum pump, which you use to put here in the dipstick hole and suck out the old oil out of it. And you will also need a filter. You will also need a new filter. I bought the original Yanmar oil filter, which will be replaced basically here. It's usual custom when you change the oil, you definitely want to change your oil filter as well at the same time. Also, last but not least, you will need to think about nature. So I got my empty 2-liter bottle for tea, which will be used to deposit the old oil inside, and which can be properly recycled or dumped afterwards. Okay, so first things first, I will check the oil. So what you actually do is you now the engine is cold. I arrived in Marina this morning, so the level of the oil is pretty much standard now. It's pretty much calm. The oil doesn't move, so this will probably tell me exactly what is the level of the oil in the engine. You don't want to measure your oil level when the engine is hot, maybe warm, but definitely not hot. So what you actually do is you take this dipstick out, then you wipe it, and first of all you can see the oil color. It's really black. That means the oil is dirty, so you definitely need to change the oil. Now you put the dipstick back inside, you take it out, and then you actually see that your level of oil is quite low. It's still fine, but it's on the lower level of acceptable. So that means you should change or refill your oil. Now some people actually they just add additional oil in the engine. That's not really recommended practice. So what you want to do is you want to basically change everything. That's the safest way, and that's the way how to make your engine happy, because your engine will definitely need a clean oil. Okay, So let's do it now. First thing, you will need to actually use this particular oil extractor. I'm not making any commercial for them. I never know about this company. I use particularly this one that I bought, new one. The reason why I use this one is that it was available in Japan for fairly modest price, and it's 1.6 liters. They are much bigger available on the market. There's many different brands. My engine is actually consuming 1.5 liters of oil, so I never will need bigger oil extractor than this one. So for this reason, I'm gonna use this particular product. Okay, so let's open it. Let's see what's inside. Okay, so you have a hose. You have hoses. I think this is a spare one, I'm not sure. I still didn't read the manual, to be honest. You have the vacuum pump. Then you have a can. This is your 1.6 liter can. And yeah, I think this is the adapter which is actually creating the vacuum here. And that's where you install the pump. There's also the manual which I still didn't read, so if something turns out bad, it's my mistake. Yeah, you can see how it works. And yeah, I guess the hose comes in here. I don't know how to use this. We're gonna record it after, don't worry about that. Okay, so this is assembled. This is how it looks like. So we're gonna put this part inside of the dipstick hole, and we're gonna suck out the oil outside. Now the first thing which you want to do is, because the engine is cold, you actually do not want to do this now. The first step is actually to turn on the engine for at least 10 minutes and let the oil get a little bit more warm. Why? Because when it's more warm, it's a little bit less viscous, and if it's less viscous, it's more liquid, so that means that it's going to be more easier to get it out. And of course, when you do that, you have to remember to put back the dipstick inside, because you don't want to have any of these parts. You don't want your oil to go out. Okay, now it's 10 minutes approximately past, so I'm going to turn off the engine. Okay, the engine is off. So we're gonna wait a little bit, and yeah, in 2-3 minutes we can start getting the oil out. You also have to make sure that all the contact surfaces, holes, should be clean. So you use the tissue, or the preferably the one made for the oils, to clean up all the surfaces. You don't want any dirt to come into the holes, into the oil. So when that is done, you basically put this hose into the dipstick as much as you can, and then you simply suck the whole oil out. It actually helps if you open the oil cap, and it's more easier. And you can see the oil coming out. it's filling up the can. You can see it here. And you can feel that actually the oil is warm, not hot, warm enough. Okay, so we finished sucking the oil out, and there's something like I think 1.5 approximately liters inside. So I think we're pretty much finished with this part of the process. Okay, so the next thing, after you get oil out, you have to change the filter, the oil filter here. Some people use overly high torque to tie it up. There's usually explanation on each of these filters, how many times you should turn them. So it should be relatively easy to remove. But however, as I said, some people apply overly high torque, so it's really hard to remove them. And in that case, you have to use the sling wrench or whatever. So I'll try to remove it just as it is to see if it works. And you always have to remember to put something below, because the remaining of the oil might come out. So let's see how this works. Yeah, it doesn't come off. Okay, so it doesn't work, so I'm gonna use this, I don't know what it's called, sling wrench or whatever. So I'm just gonna put it over here. It doesn't really damages any integrity of the filter, but it might work. Let's try with this one. Yep, it's turning. Okay, so from now on I'm gonna apply a torque with my hand and hopefully catch all the remaining oil here. Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, it's leaking. Yeah. That's it. Now we have to wait a little bit and change the filter. Okay, so we cleaned up this this mess here. It's reasonably clean, and I'm gonna change now I'm gonna put the new oil filter now, original one, as I said, Yanmar. And before that, you want to make sure the contact surfaces are actually oiled properly. So you add a little bit oil on the O-rings here to remove any friction. And then once finished, you can just put the new filter back. And if I remember well, this torque should be, once this stops, it should be, I think, 3/4 of the full circle until it's locked. Which is basically here. yeah, that's it. Okay, so now we put 5 cups of oil inside, and this should be around 1.2-1.3 liters. I prefer to go with the lower level, and then if I need, I want to fill it up a little more. Unless, I mean, otherwise if I overfill, then I have to suck it again out, which I really don't want to do with the dirty hose. So let's wait for like 10-15 minutes for things to settle down. Once they settle down, we're gonna measure with the dipstick how much it has inside already. Okay, so that's it. We finished it, and yeah, I closed the lid, the oil cap, and I put a dipstick back in. It's full now. It's almost to the upper line, so the engine is full. Now we completed the oil change. So now we're gonna start the engine, and let's see how it works. The water is coming out, so the cooling system works fine. And one of the things that you're not supposed to forget is to write down the date when you change the oil, so you make sure that the next time you change the oil, you know exactly how many hours pass between the oil changes. And that's it. I hope you enjoy the channel.